What's going on, wrestling fans? Welcome into another edition of Near Falls with D Hall, a wrestling podcast. Today, it is my favorite episode of the year, my favorite project, the WPIAL Preseason Preview. So pumped up to release this to you guys. Just right off the bat, we're doing it a little bit different than we did last year. Last year, I had them all together on one. It was like 3 hours long. It was a lot. This year, I'm changing it up. Each single team is going to have their own little video, their own little episode of the pod. So you won't have to sift through all the other stuff. Super excited for that. We talked to all these different coaches, man. I had 30 guys come on from across AA and AAA, which shattered my goals for this year, which is awesome. So yeah, man, I'm just super excited to release this to you guys. It was a lot of fun. These coaches were open and honest. They had great insight, and for me, man, just to sit down and listen to these guys talk about what they're wrestling, there's not much better in my world. So without further ado, here is the WPIAL Preseason Preview. Thank you, guys. Love Jens. As always, brought to you by Switch Custom Apparel.
Welcome to the Near Falls WPIAL Show, where Dial and Kaz are gonna tell you all the things you wanna know. Whether it's Trinity or Spencer Lee or Mr. Kurt Angle, just ask Vinny D, WPIAL, Ken and Mac for sure. They got the interviews to soothe your soul, because it's Near Falls in the WPIAL.
Okay, joining me next on the call, head coach of Southmoreland Area High School, Coach Dan Boring. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Doing really good. Super excited to have you on. Super pumped up to talk about the Scotties. First things first, how was the offseason program for you guys?
Good. We had a lot of good summer programs. I had Tom Tomio come out, Waynesburg University head coach Aaron McKinney, Fairmont State head coach Gennaro Bonaventura. Some of the guys on
Buttering me up. Those are two of my guys.
Yeah, they're good guys too. So we stay in touch, and they like to come out and work with our guys. So they do a good job. So good summer, good fall. I think we had 30 plus kids tonight at our open practice tonight. So a week away from the season, it was good to see a full room. So
very, very cool stuff indeed. Okay, next thing I have for you, alumni. What are some of the guys that have graduated and gone on from your program? What are they doing now that they're on either in the in the real world, doing jobs, wrestling, playing football? What do you got going on of your former wrestlers?
So a big one is Jake Beistel's back one more time out at St. Vincent.
I heard about that.
We're looking for big things from him. I'm sure he'll do well. He's a great kid and a hard worker.
Yeah.
Anthony Govern is out at Fairmont State finally. Redshirting. He has to have a knee surgery here in the next couple of days, but he'll be someone to look forward to, next year on the mat with Gennaro. Yeah. Tristan Ice, I know he was out at St. Vincent. He actually is heading to Fairmont State, I believe, in the spring. Okay. So a little bit of transfer stuff there. I'm not going to get into all that stuff, but so he'll be still wrestling here at some point for Fairmont. And then Andrew Johnson, I just talked to him recently. He is working on getting his grades up at community college, then going to Waynesburg in the spring, from what I understand with Coach McKinney. Andrew's going out there. So that'd be good for him. Other kids getting jobs working. I know Bryson Robinson, one of my favorite guys to coach, is doing some construction work. So he's doing some good stuff. But, yeah, a lot of guys are still coming out of the room a little bit and hanging out. So
very good stuff, man. I love that. Love that. Okay, next thing. Who are some of the leaders that you find that might be stepping up for you as we get the season started?
I mean, the big one's going to be Cashton Bish. He's been a program guy from JOs all the way through, and he's my lone senior. Great relationship with him. He's the kind of kid who may not show on his win column. He has a positive winning record, but hasn't been that guy that takes that step to like the regional level, the state level. But he's a guy in the room who will push his teammates, go recruit kids in the hallways for me, talk to everybody, talk up the program. So he's the big one for us. His senior year, he's ready to put it all out there and finish strong. But then, I got Sean Hollis as a sophomore who was a 23-plus match winner last year, lost in the blood round at WPIALs to Isaiah Pisano, who made it to the state tournament. He's somebody who really pushes his teammates in the room. Then I got great teammates who can just push other guys like Gabe Kabuski, Landon Delara. Those two guys will go out there and just wrestle with everybody in the room, make them better. So, those four are big. Lewis Maines is a kid who He's also a great – we have a lot of good teammates in our room, guys that are going to push. And we have a young team again this year, a lot of new faces, a lot of new kids. And those guys who have been around, are going to be big for us this year. So
love that. Any freshmen we need to keep our eye on?
Yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to do with him yet, but David Sager is a heavyweight for us. He was a state qualifier last year for junior high, went 2-2 out there as a first-year kid. But he's putting the work in. He came in this offseason a lot, played football. He looks to be somebody who will make a difference, whether it's up here at high school this year or next year. And then not really a freshman, but Caden Shannon. He's a sophomore. He wrestled junior high last year, finished second in the state at 210. So he's a guy that we're expecting big things out of coming up as a sophomore for our varsity team.
Love that. Okay. Next thing I have, who is the coaching staff that you're leaning on to help lead and develop these guys?
So I have Terry Quashnock back. He's been my assistant coach for all 6 of our years together at the high school. Great guy, great assistant coach. I couldn't do it without him. He'll be helping a little more this year with my new position out at Derry. So I'm not right out at Southmoreland as the AD or teacher. I can't just walk up, So he'll be a little more responsibility on him. We brought in Evan Myers this year. Former Southmoreland wrestler, went to Clarion University to wrestle, but he's back. He's going to be a big thing in our room because he's younger, can roll around a lot more with the kids. I'm getting old here. So.
It's tough, right?
It gets a little tougher to go every single day, right?
Right.
Plus, I can do more monitoring the room and helping and actually coaching, and they can roll around a little bit more. And then at the junior high, I have the Sheridan brothers who have been one of the best hires that we've had because they can build those guys up at that level, and then they've been helping a lot in the offseason. So, yeah, those are my coaches, and they're in good places.
Good stuff. Okay, next thing I have, this is a new question that I added this year, and I love it. Wrestling room games. What games do you guys have to warm up? Dodgeball, kickball. What's it look like for you guys?
We have two big ones that we do. We have spider ball, which is a form of dodgeball. You have one ball, everybody's in. It's a free for all. You get hit, you're out. Can't take any steps. You can toss the ball one time. It's a fun game because it's you versus everybody else, just kind of like how wrestling is. So,
nice.
And then we do a version of mat ball in the wrestling room. So we have our 3 mats like at your bases, and you can have 5 kids on a mat before they can run, and so it's a fun game. It's kickball but with extra spaces on the mat. So
a little bit of madness. So what's your spot in the game? You pitcher? Or you'll play like you get.
I'll jump into spider ball and play. When it comes to kickball, I'll pitch for a team, and Q will pitch for a team. Quashnock. So 2 coaches get involved in pitch. Yeah.
Okay. So like spider ball, little gun on you.
What was that?
You got a little gun on you? Get after these guys?
I do. Yeah. They don't like when I jump in.
Good stuff. Okay. Next thing I have. Schedule. How does that look for you guys? I know one of the highlights you guys have on your schedule is the Southmoreland Holiday Class. You guys put that on every year. It's a fantastic tournament you guys have. But besides that, what's your schedule look like for you guys?
So we start out the gate with Bell Vernon out of Bell Vernon this year, which they had a really strong junior high team last year. And some really studs there in the middle of their lineup. So that's going to be a tough match out of the gate, and we got to be ready to go for that one because that's one that we'll need looking to make a playoff spot again. Then we head to Babbitt Duels out there at River Valley. Strong tournament. I know they have Forest Hills coming in this year. I think Phillipsburg, Oshawa. Yes, they left this year. But Glendale's there. Derry's there, who Dalton has that team in a good place. So some good competition out of the gate for those two. And then Fraser the following week at home. They're a tough team, and they're going to be, again, top 2 in our section. I think that's one that we'll have to really compete for, and if we want that. Then we head to Morgantown for the Nurse Pro Plus tournament at a University High School, which is University is a great program down in West Virginia. It's a great tournament for our guys. A lot of younger guys get good experience. So that's a good one I like. And then we have another section match. I think it is York or Elizabeth Forward before Christmas break, the Holiday Classic, which we have 36 teams coming to this year. If I had the list, I'd share some new teams coming.
Talk to me a little bit more about that. So how many years has this been going on now?
This should be the 24th year.
Okay, and you guys do a junior high one as well.
We do. So the Holiday Classic is a 2-day on the 27th, 28th, and then we have our junior high tournament on the 6th, the first Saturday in January. So we have 16 teams. It's a 1-day tournament coming to that.
Yep.
That one's been around for, I think, 15 years now. So
Nice.
both have been long running tournaments, and we keep trying to, amp it up a little bit each year. But the Classic, every year is getting better and better. And we have a great recording for the finals with Westmoreland Sports Network coming out.
Yeah,
Get them
man, that's
a little shout
awesome.
out here. Chris and Dan, they do a great job. So,
Yeah, man, they get geared up for that. That's like one of their ones that like going down to Southmoreland and do the finals. That's good stuff, man.
Well, before the new year, we have a pretty loaded schedule. And then we come back with 3 more section matches, and with the Burgettstown tournament, which is a tough one, heading into individuals there. So, I think it's a solid schedule, and that will get our guys ready to go and give us a small break to heal up before individual season gets here. So,
love that. Okay, Coach. Next thing I have for you, who I lost my spot. We're gonna have to edit this out. Oh, well.
I think staff goals was one of them you had.
Yes, that's exactly where I was at. Thank you. Okay, so next thing I have, Coach, what are some of these goals and expectations you have for this squad?
So I've been telling everybody, we've lost 16 kids to graduation in the last 2 years, which is a big number of kids to lose. And I have one senior this year, which is a good thing.
Right.
But this is my 6 year as the head coach, and we've had that consistency of being a WPIAL playoff team year in and year out. We've won playoff matches. I want to keep that going, even though we have some young guys and some depth issues. I think that we can be there, but the kids got to do the work and put the time in. So my goal as a coach is always to be in the playoffs, winning playoff matches. And we're going to break through here one of these years, I feel like, and get into that WPIAL championship conversation. I think we've been close a couple of years, and it's just some things haven't gone our way, injuries or weight classes with guys not making the weights we needed. But, again, consistency. That's my main thing. Team playoffs and then individuals. I think we have a chance to take three guys out to Hershey and have some state place winners. So we missed Hershey last year. Tristan, at the end there kind of hit a tough match in overtime to make it out there. So I think that's our goal individually, is to be at Hershey again this year, because you hate missing that spot.
Yeah, man, no doubt about it. Okay, last thing I have before we get to the final question. You touched on a little bit. You moved from Southmoreland over to Derry professionally. Talk about that move, and how cool is it that you're still coaching over at Southmoreland. Troy Dolan, who's the head coach at Derry, I'm going to have him on at some point. But very cool situation you have, and still to be a part of the Southmoreland community.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice thing for my career. Derry's my home school. It's where I went to school. I actually wrestled with Troy, and it's funny. I'm actually the acting AD right now because Brett Miller left. We have a new AD coming December 1st, so I'm taking the reins on that until. So I've worked with Troy the last couple of days to get their schedule set and do some things on their end. But it's been good. Southmoreland's been great to me over my 9 years. I'm very blessed to keep being able to coach. Kind of both schools had to agree that it was an okay thing for me to do, being out there now. And I still live in Scottsdale. So I live right by the high school. So it was I'm coming home every day. I drive right by it. It didn't make sense not to do it at least another year or two, see how things go, and then adapt from there. So again, I'm happy to keep being able to do it. And I know the guys are happy that I'm still around, and I think it's going to be a good thing again this year.
Good stuff. Okay, Coach, anything or anyone you want to shout out before I leave you go?
I kind of already said it, but Coach Quashnock, he's been my right-hand man all these years. And like I said, I have a little more responsibility this year with my schedule. So to him, and then, of course, my wife. We have 5 kids at home, and
God bless you, brother.
Yeah, a lot of time at home with the kids, and I'm missing out on that stuff, but she does a great job here. So
that's awesome. Awesome stuff indeed. Coach, thank you so much, and we'll see you out there this year.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks.
My man.